Anahita Dua, and I'm a vascular surgeon at Mass General and an associate professor of surgery at Harvard Medical School. My headline messages were around the concept of being a strong and kind leader in my framework, and so really it was just my story. I have been lucky enough to be in leadership positions both at the Mass General and just generally in different elements of medical life. And so I wanted to share the message with the crowd, specifically the younger people who are up and coming. And really my main point was that you don't need to ask permission anymore. You've made it. And when you've made it, you have to break out of that mindset where your vision needs permission to come to fruition. Essentially what I mean by that is a lot of women will have a vision and it'll be great. But because of our upbringing, and I don't mean as a child, I mean just in our medical upbringing, we ask for permission from somebody senior or somebody that we consider to be better, even though they're actually not, to go and run with that vision. And the reason for that, I feel, is because women sometimes are not permitted the mistakes that come with the risk. In other words, let's say that a female is leading a division and the division doesn't do that well. Instead of saying, hey, it might be the environment, or it might be that, right now the situation is bad, or something that's associated with that, the woman might get the blame because she was leading the division. That doesn't always happen to men. I'm not saying it never happens, but there have been situations, even anecdotally, that I've experienced where a man will get an explanation for why something went awry, whether that is a complication in the operating room or that's because the division isn't doing too well, or et cetera, et cetera. And what happens then is, even though women have this incredible vision, they might not be ready to take the risk because they're worried about repercussions that may or may not be fair. And what I was standing up there and saying is, don't worry about that, because if you worry about that, you have already been defeated. There are these blind enemies, and only you really can see them, but you should just say, I'm going to push ahead. And know that there's actually a secret society of many women in leadership positions, myself included, who will be there for you and who will support you through that vision. There are going to be a lot of naysayers, and what you really need to do is explain why you're doing what you're doing and have faith in the fact that whatever you're doing is actually the right thing. Because if you don't have faith in it, no one else is going to join you. But once you're successful, the world is going to be at your feet saying, oh, I was with you from the beginning. So my main message is, don't ask for permission, go for it. You are qualified and you were given this position for a reason. Now go and show everybody why it is that you were chosen. I think the most important thing about improving leadership skills is that you have to get your hands dirty. There are a lot of courses out there, and you can sit and you can listen, but much like surgery, at the end of the day, you must actually put your hands inside a patient and execute what you have learned. So concepts are fine, but they must be put into practice. For example, the concept of being collaborative. There's a limit to that. As in, if you're collaborating with somebody and you're the leader, you can explain to them why it is you want to do what you want to do. And that person can work with you if you inspire them and you get them to a point where they want to follow you. But at the end of the day, if they don't align with your vision, you don't need to erase everything about you in order to push this concept of collaboration. So what I mean is, like, it sounds great on a slide, but in reality, you have to actually work and see what were the needs and motivations of this person. Oh, I got it wrong this time. Maybe next time I will. And you iterate on yourself, you get better and better. So what I would say to people who are looking to take on leadership positions in the future is take on leadership positions now, whether that be within your department, something smaller, if that's leading a manuscript and deciding who's going to be the author line, in any capacity. Lead, and slowly you will develop that muscle to the point where ultimately, when you're in a big, powerful role, you'll be ready to take it on. My Kinmouth lecture is titled, Going Out on a Limb to Save a Limb, because I'm all about the future. Right now, we have an epidemic across the world, and that epidemic is diabetes. And the complications of diabetes that we actually never even saw before, because people are living so much longer, are now in front of our face. And we are not prepared. We are not prepared to save the legs of these patients that are coming forth without any conventional options to save them. So my talk focuses around what we can do today, what we can learn today to save those patients, and in conjunction with that, what we can do about after you've done this amazing procedure, keeping the procedure continuing to stay open by doing different things with the antiplatelets and anticoagulants, because we have completely neglected this very critical part of saving the limb. So my talk really focuses around the holistic approach to saving these legs, because by 2050, if we don't solve this problem, we are going to have legs all around us.